Hi everyone, this is Migs from Sneaks and Ball PH, and today we have a detailed review on the Adidas Forum 84 High McDonald's All-American. Before we get started, if you like this video, please make sure to leave a thumbs up down below. Then if you have any comments, questions, or any suggestions for future videos, please feel free to leave them in the comment section down below as well. I'll also leave a link to the SNBPH Sneaker Hunters Facebook group down in the description box, so I really do hope that you can join us because we do talk about sneakers and basketball quite a bit, and that's also where I hold my monthly giveaways. Then if you haven't already, please do make sure to sub to the channel because it really does help us out quite a lot. Then with that out of the way, let's take a look at the Adidas and Eric Emanuel collaboration on the Adidas Forum 84 High. To start things off, I am super happy that I finally got a pair of Forum 84 Highs because they have been surprisingly hard to get recently. But I am happy that this Adidas classic is getting more attention and it really fits that retro vibe that's all the rage today. So the Adidas Forum 84, as you can probably tell from the name, released in 1984. At that time, Adidas had a really strong basketball lineup because this released in 1984. Then before that, you had another classic, the Adidas Top 10. And then prior to that, you did have the Adidas Superstar, which is still a classic and timeless sneaker to this day. Then just in case you're looking around online or in store for a pair of Forums and you kind of notice that there's a price difference and that there's multiple versions, there's actually a regular Forum High or Forum Mid, a regular Forum Low, and then you have the Forum 84 High and the Forum 84 Low. They are still pretty much the same shoe, but the 84 is a little bit more expensive because they use more premium materials, and the Forum 84s do actually have this sort of vintage look, while the regular Forums do have a more like brand new kind of look to them. Then for this colorway in particular, it was actually made to commemorate the McDonald's All-American game, which is a basketball game or a basketball showcase where you have your recently graduated high school athletes, which is sort of an exhibition game or a basketball showcase where you can see all of the top prospects coming out of high school. The McDonald's All-American game actually started in 1977, and you did have so many NBA stars playing that game. You had Magic Johnson, you had James Worthy, you had Michael Jordan, you had Dominique Wilkins, you had Grant Hill, you had Jerry Stackhouse, you had Kevin Garnett, you had Kobe, you had LeBron, you had Melo, you had KD, you had D Rose, and even more recently you had the likes of RJ Barrett, Zion Williamson, and Cole Anthony. Definitely is one of the most awaited exhibition basketball tournaments every year. So if you're a top NBA prospect fresh out of high school, then the McDonald's All-American game is the place to be. Then just quickly shedding some light on the person that designed this with Adidas, who is Eric Emanuel. His claim to fame was actually making these really cool jersey shorts with like certain designs, some of them really simple, some of them a little bit more complex. And he does actually have other sneaker collabs, like he did a collab with Reebok where I think he designed the Don C and the Reebok Question. He isn't really a household name yet in terms of sneakers, but he did a really good job with this collab, so I definitely commend him and Adidas for that. So now that you guys have a background on the shoe, the colorway, and the designer, let's get into the tech specs. Alright, actually before I do that, I do want to show you guys the box. So the box here is actually this very bright fuchsia, which is kind of weird because it's a McDonald's All-American collab, so I was expecting a different color. But this is the box. It's pretty bright, pretty pink, and something that'll definitely stand out. With the shoes as well, you do get something pretty cool. It's like this small little pamphlet where it details everything about the forum. So you have things that say like there's a perforated toe, there's a crisscross strap, a heel stabilizer, the leathers, etc. And this is definitely really cool. It's like detailing everything they wanted you to know about the shoe. And I really do wish that Adidas does this with their other shoes. And I also hope that other brands like Nike, Jordan, Puma will have something like this for their shoes. So going back to the shoes, here you have the Adidas Forum 84. So for the traction, you have an all-solid rubber outsole with this pattern that's made of circles, and you have a pivot point here at the forefoot. This is a pretty interesting traction pattern, and it actually looks like a beefed-up version of the traction we found on the KD13 and the PG4. So whether you're walking indoors or you're walking outside, you really shouldn't have any problems with the grip on the shoe. It also is a shoe from the 80s, so you can definitely be sure that the traction is super durable because they really don't make rubber outsoles like they used to. Then for the cushion, the Adidas Forum 84 has a full-length rubber cup sole with a full-length polyurethane wedge. And though polyurethane definitely isn't the most comfy or most bouncy thing in the world, the cushion on the Forum 84 definitely feels pretty good for an 80s basketball shoe. If I were to describe how the cushion feels in terms of like Nike and Jordan, it definitely is more cushioned than the Jordan 1, but it's also not quite as comfy as a Nike Air Force 1. And one last thing about the cushion on the shoe, the whole tooling does feel pretty heavy, but that is kind of to be expected because you have this thick rubber cup sole, and you have a lot of layers on the upper as well. Then speaking of the upper, for the materials on the Forum 84 High, these might just be the best materials on any retro this year, or for the past couple of years for that matter. You have a pretty much all leather upper, and it's just really soft here at the toe. It's epically soft here at the ankle collar as well. You even have pretty thick cuts of leather here on the ankle strap. Then you also have some nicely tumbled leather here at the heel tab and on the 3 stripes. And for one of the most nice feeling pieces of suede I've ever felt on a shoe, we have this little suede tab here at the back, and it just feels super premium. And ever since I got the shoe in, I'm just always kind of feeling that suede because it is definitely super premium. Then for the other materials, you do have nice flat laces, a nylon tongue, and a fuzzy and padded sock liner. Overall, the materials on the Forum 84 are just beautiful, and they're just super duper soft, and it just feels super amazing to the touch. So if you're a person that really likes premium materials, then this is definitely one of the best options. Then for fit and sizing, I did go true to size with the Adidas Forum 84, and it fits me perfectly well. There isn't much dead space all throughout the shoe, and once you lace it up to the top eyelet, it really kind of locks you into the shoe. And since the materials are super soft, once you start breaking these in, they'll just fit you even better. So for my recommendation on the sizing, I do think you can go true to size whether you have a normal width foot, a wide foot, or a narrow foot, because the softness of the materials mean that whatever your foot shape is, it'll pretty much conform to you, no problem. Then for the aesthetic details on this colorway of the Forum 84 High, you do have yellow for most of the solid rubber outsole, with a red pivot point underneath the ball of your foot, and white on the midfoot portion. You also have your Adidas branding on that white portion, and interestingly enough, within those circles in the traction pattern, you actually have these tiny Adidas trefoil logo, so I found that very cool, and it's a detail I really like. Then moving up to the midsole, that cup sole has this sort of off-white look to it, which gives it this sort of vintage feel, and you also have your Adidas branding here on the lateral side of the heel. Then once again, that polyurethane does peek out here at the medial side, and it has that netting to it. And above that, you have what they used to call their Stabilo counter, which is essentially a midfoot shank and heel counter, which was definitely ahead of its time because other shoes from other brands didn't have midfoot shanks at the time. So I think this might actually be one of the first basketball shoes with like an external heel counter and a midfoot shank as well. So anyway, that midfoot shank does have that McDonald's yellow. And then for the upper, you do have a really nice mix of white, some off-white, some blue, some red, and some yellow. So for the white portions, you do have it on the leather at the forefoot, the leather at the midfoot, the leather that wraps around the eye stays, and the leather on the cross strap. Then for the off-white portions, you do have it here at the heel as well as the ankle collar, and you have off-white on the nylon tongue as well. Then for the pops of color, you do have yellow on the leather that's on the top of the ankle, and yellow on the bottom eyelet. You also do have blue, and it's here on the top eyelet as well as this rand here at the forefoot. And then for the pieces of branding, you do have a red 3 stripes on the lateral side, while you have blue 3 stripes here on the medial side. You also have your McDonald's All-American logo here on the top of the tongue, as well as on the lateral side of that ankle strap. Then you also have Eric Emanuel's logo here on the lateral side of the forefoot, and on the medial side of the forefoot, the left shoe has these 3 stars, while the right shoe has that signature McDonald's logo. Then for the overall aesthetics, I think they did an amazing job with this collab, because when I did hear that they were gonna make a McDonald's All-American collab, I was kind of skeptical, and I was also kind of worried that, you know, they might make the shoe all yellow or all red, but it did come out really nice because it is predominantly white. You have some off-white for that vintage look, and your signature McDonald's red, yellow, and blue are sort of just these accent colors, which in my opinion makes this shoe super wearable. This is definitely a shoe that I think will work really well with those joggers that I wear often. I'm probably gonna wear my black joggers when I take these out for the on-foot video, and I can only imagine how much those will make these pop, and I really do love the aesthetics of this shoe. Of course, I also do love the OG colorways of the Forum 84 that they have released already, but I think for this being a new colorway or a collab, they really did do the shoe justice. Then for the price, the Adidas Forum 84 in this McDonald's All-American collab colorway retails for 7,000 pesos here in the Philippines, or $140 US. It is a little bit more expensive than your standard Forum 84 because it is a collab, and you know they also had to give McDonald's a piece of that pie. But with your standard Forum 84 highs, they're more around $120 US, or around 6,500 pesos. And if you're also interested to check out the regular forums, the non-Forum 84 ones, they retail for I think $100 or $105. But if you you did have the money to spare, I would recommend trying to go for a Forum 84. I did get my pair over at the Adidas website, and Adidas Philippines has fixed their shipping issues. This actually shipped, I think, in 2 to 3 days. And for this shoe in particular, I think they still have a few sizes left. It's just I'm not sure what sizes those are, but you can definitely still check them out. So there you have it, guys. That was my detailed review on the Adidas Forum 84 High McDonald's All-American collab. Once again, if you haven't already yet, please make sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon for notifications. It would help us out a lot here at Sneaks and Ball PH.